couple of months ago, I created a video about my truck, my overlanding setup that allows me to travel for weeks on end across the United States, living and working out of that setup. Now that build was a lot of fun and it treated me really well over the years, but it's time for a change. I bought a new Tacoma and I'm going to be completely building it from scratch. Right now it's completely stock. I changed just some LED lights and whatnot, but other than that it is completely stock, and I'm going to be creating a lot of content around this new build, talking about what modifications I make, why I make them, how does it help me create more and travel the country to more remote places, and overall improve my ability to create and live effectively on the road. This is going to be done in more of a series on YouTube. I'm still going to be creating some photography editing tutorials on this channel, but also going to be creating a lot more around overlanding, creating on the road, and that lifestyle and how I create my content. So since my truck is completely stock right now, let's talk about the things that I'm going to do to it, why I'm going to be doing them at a very high level in this video, and why that's different than what I did in my previous truck build. So my last Tacoma was a 2018 TRD Offroad. It was a long bed, and that's really the only difference other than the year that my new one is. This one is a 2022 TRD Offroad, but it's a short bed. And the reason I did that is it has a narrower wheelbase so I can go to more remote places, off-road to more tricky spots that requires a narrower wheelbase. It is going to require a pretty significant change to my living setup. So before, I had a bed topper where I built out myself a drawer and platform sleeping situation with a mattress on top, which was great. Now I'm going to be going over towards the rooftop tent, maybe a camper setup. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do there just yet. Excited about the different opportunities that kind of exist for a short bed build as opposed to a long bed build. And so for my last Tacoma, the first thing I did was get that topper and swap out the tires from a stock all-terrain tire to a robust 32-inch all-terrain tire. That was one of the major upgrades that I did originally with this new one. That's going to be similar. I'm actually going to be swapping over my 33-inch tires from my old truck to my new truck. One of the most foundational pieces is the suspension, and so I'm going to be upgrading my suspension from my last one and going with a 3-inch lift, as well as adding monotube remote reservoirs. Now I'll again talk about that more on a different video. It just gives me more performance and ability over different terrain. And so for this truck, I'm really going to be focusing on kind of building a really strong foundation. Last time I kind of focused on the living setup first. It was my first ever truck, so I was definitely learning a lot about it. This one, it also helps that it's coming up on winter, so I'm not going to be sleeping in it as much, although it does pose some challenges for my fall trip coming up, but that's a whole nother situation that I'm dealing with. But with this, so it's going to be tires and wheels, suspension, and power management, and making sure all the lighting that I'm going to be adding, all the auxiliary lighting, the bumper lights, the ditch lights, the roof rack lights, all of that stuff is wired properly. Before, I actually just took that off of my old truck and the wiring was a mess. So I'm not making that mistake again. I'm going to actually have a fuse box and a relay that's dedicated for my power and the switches that are going to be in the actual cab. So that's going to be really stage one of this new build. Stage two is going to be around armoring the vehicle, so adding a bumper, adding rock sliders, skid plates, a rear bumper, all of that stuff, so that if I hit rocks or get stuck or something, it protects the undercarriage and all of the important stuff down below, and I don't get stuck in the middle of nowhere for extended periods of time. In addition, stage two is going to be the bed rack, which is going to have probably a rooftop tent for now on it, as well as a storage system for the back. Then finally, stage three is likely going to be around re-gearing, making it actually drive a little bit better, especially with all the weight that I'm going to be adding to this. The most important thing for me with this build is going to be improving the quality of life on the road, my ability to work, cook easily, shower easily, have power easily for my computer, for my camera stuff, all those other things, and allow me to get to remote locations safely when I'm by myself in Ajax. It's just the two of us a lot of the time, so making sure that this is a really robust setup that I can go places is crucial. And that's really kind of at a high level what I'm going to be doing with this. There's going to be a lot more videos about this setup. Hopefully you enjoy that kind of content. I realize that a number of you have followed because of my editing videos. Again, that's not going to go away, but I am going to be adding in a lot more overlanding lifestyle kind of content as well. Some of the stuff is going to be install based, so I'm learning a lot about installing certain things into my truck. I will be using some off-road shop to do a lot of the suspension, actually cutting up my truck, because I don't know if I trust myself yet to do that. But I'll be filming those installs as well, so if that's of any interest, hopefully you all tune in. If you have any questions about why I'm doing this, what kind of mods I'm gonna be doing, anything around overlanding and this new build, drop them in the comments below. Please, if you did like this video, drop a like, and of course, if you're not subscribed already, please do that. Click that subscribe link, and we'll see you in the next one.